On today's episode of the Hillbilly Files, we're going to be showing you one of the most infamous sites in early American folklore. A lot of people, you've seen how these movies, The Hills Have Eyes and all these other, or the crazy hillbillies, that sort of thing. Well, like most legends, there is a grain of truth. This isn't the site, by the way. This is just a really pretty place nearby to do the intro real quick. This is Laurel Lake. We're in Dingess, West Virginia, just about a mile from where we're going. I fished and hunted near here many times. But anyhow, we're going to be going to the Dingess Tunnel. It was called the Bloody Dingess Tunnel. Now, my mom, when I was little, Mom used to actually tell stories about this place, about how they would drop a tree on, locals would drop a tree on one side, and then when a car came in, they would come in from the back side, come in behind them. When the people got to the other end, they're trapped, they're stuck, they can't get out the tunnel. And they would rob them and kill them back in that tunnel. And there was an old saying, they were called, how you have door-to-door salesmen? Back then, they were called pack peddlers. They packed or carried, what they peddled or sold, get it, pack peddler. Anyhow, it was a local term, but when they used the term pack peddler, what that meant, when she told me the story, when they used the term pack peddler, we've just spotted a pack peddler, what that meant was the first person to kill him gets his stuff. That's what that meant. And there she is. The infamous Dingess Tunnel. It's about a mile long. You can see it goes back through. You can barely see a little teeny bit of daylight at the far end. But you see how this goes up over? Now, the way Mom told the story, like I said, they would drop a tree on one side and block it so that you couldn't get out. Right there, but look at the old brick. Now, they used this, like I said, for a while. It was a spur line, to bring, just to get trains, back into the other area, without having to take out the entire mountain. So they just made a tunnel. And they left it that way. They used it for a while, and then they shut the tunnel down, and locals, they started taking horses and buggies, through there, using it, that sort of thing. And they just recently added the lighting. That it was black all the way through there. And of course, like I said, the beginnings of some of the, urban legends and stuff, about Appalachia, the southern West Virginia hillbillies will kill you. This was one of the places that inspired that sort of thing. Somebody coming through the tunnel. You hear from the other side? Looks like a bus or something. We'll see what it is. We'll see what comes out. Imagine standing here and a big locomotive coming out of that thing. I bet that was loud. Looks like a school bus. Yep. How cool is that? But like I said, we are just way back in the southern West Virginia mountains. It's a very, very small community here, even to this day. You can imagine what it was like, back in the day. It's very secluded. Long way from any sort of real civilization. Long ways. Middle of nowhere. Cool, huh? We'll take you through it and show you the other side too.
In 1892, the Norfolk and Western Railroad, realizing the coal industry was exploding with growth, decided to expand a rail line between Lenoir and Wayne, West Virginia. The railway brought in many Chinese, African American, Italian workers, etc., to construct the tunnel, and along with them came their families to the area of 12 Pole Creek. Well, the locals didn't take very kindly to the influx of foreign people, and this brought on a lack of tolerance, which resulted in a history of abuse and murder. According to several stories, bands of angry locals would wait at the entrance and exit of the tunnel with guns and would pick off anyone that did not fit their target description. While there's no official records of how many people were killed, it's estimated hundreds of victims were killed in this ambush-style murder. There's even tales of masked men who would stop trains, remove passengers in the middle of the night, and kill them. The crimes against outsiders certainly contributed to the county's nickname of Bloody Mingo. In 1898, a fatal wreck in the tunnel killed 7 people. Then in 1905, it happened again. A head-on collision occurred between a fully loaded freight train and a work train, which resulted in the death of 3 people. The tracks began to fall silent around 1905. At that time, Norfolk and Western decided to build a different route, perhaps a safer route. But if you ever go in this tunnel, it's left behind a residue that you can feel. It's heavy. It's dark. They just recently put lights in the tunnel, which I kind of preferred it without lights. It was super neat. You know, it was different. But either way, there's so much history in this tunnel. So many things have happened. So many lives were lost. To this day, it's known as one of the most haunted places in West Virginia. If you ever get a chance, you should really check out Dingess Tunnel. It's really not far from Williamson, West Virginia, and it's not far from the Hatfield-McCoy feud sites. It's definitely worth the trip.
Little community of Dingess. Yes, that's the main way in. There is another way back out, a couple ways back out, but yeah, that's the easiest way.